Tuesday. And this, my friends, is what we call spring in Canada. From lovely, pleasant weather, it was 10 degrees in St. John's yesterday, to the snow falling today. It's extending back through Quebec, around the Saguenay, Lac-Saint-Jean region, northern New Brunswick. My goodness me, total precipitation, let's talk about snow, also some freezing rain, and in between the two, a swath of rain. Yeah, there's the rainfall here. 10 millimeters down towards St. John's, Trepassey, Bay Bulls. Big snow, of course, in recent days. And the winds, they're coming out of the north, so that helps to bring the cold air in. So we'll be changing precipitation types, as you'll see in your local forecast in just 2 minutes from now. Calmer, cooler for the Maritimes, but a little breezy at times. Cooler today. For some, it's been a 10-degree drop in daytime highs, back to more normal temperatures. Having said that, Windsor is not normally as warm as 19, nor is Timmins as cold as +1 this afternoon. There's quite a divide north to south, and you'll see it also across Western Canada, where we've had big snow this past weekend. Forecast temperatures for Tuesday. We cool off with an easterly wind around the Golden Horseshoe region. We warm up in the north, so becoming a bit more consistent, the air mass. Southerly wind as the system approaches, and that's going to help to warm temperatures. The wind shift from the north. The northerly wind is what has brought you the cold air. Unsettled. Two systems moving through. Rain, also snow. And northern areas will see some snow mixing in. Southern areas will see some rain on Wednesday. Could be quite blustery as well as the low comes through. But the winds will be coming out of the south, so the temperatures will warm up. It's an up and down kind of week for temperatures. This is a more substantial low Thursday, Colorado low. Ontario, when you get Colorado lows that come across the Great Lakes, often they get more energy and they can bring really drenching rains. And we've had thunderstorms, and we may see more thunderstorms here, southern Saskatchewan. The risk tomorrow. Today, a few showers, Medicine Hat. Largely a dry day, most of Alberta, but upslope winds have already produced some snow west of Edmonton. And near Edmonton, you got over 10 centimeters of snow late last week into the weekend. Areas like Whitecourt got closer to 40 centimeters of snow. Risk of thunderstorms, southern Saskatchewan. Energy driven largely by upsloping winds, little trough of low pressure coming across the southern prairies. It's messy. It's a little bit of a messy forecast. It's not real clear cut. But again, stick around for your local forecast and you'll see exactly what you will get and when. Here is the overview. Water vapor, there's that little trough for the southern prairies, and wet weather building into BC as we speak. Our look ahead. Unsettled weather on top of everything that you've experienced so far the last couple of months, above average certainly for rainfall. Now, your local weather starts now. Some showers and some freezing rain and snow as we head further north across Atlantic Canada and up into Quebec. Not a great deal of rain on the east coast, but the west coast, a wetter pattern, especially Monday into Tuesday for Vancouver and Vancouver Island. Here's a look at Monday, and Monday coast to coast. Some of you enjoying another day off work, an extended long weekend. Hope it was a good one. We've got some unsettled weather spreading across the Gulf of St. Lawrence right now. There's a little bit of snow, a little bit of showery weather further south. Certainly we've had a colder change in terms of temperatures, and they're no longer in the 20s in southern Ontario. We've got some snow falling in Newfoundland today. Big snow on the weekend leading into the start of the weekend in Alberta, and snow is falling again and a little unsettled. Southern BC. Back to the rain showers. How much rain? Well, it's going to be fairly widespread through today, tomorrow, by the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, a little bit drier for Vancouver, 30 or so millimeters of rain over the next, say, 48 hours. So wet weather moving in, and some showers and even some thunder showers possible in the southern prairies through Tuesday. What we have is this. A couple of troughs of low pressure, areas of lift sweeping east, and to the north, high pressure, which sounds great. We will often remind you that high pressure is stable air, air sinking, air going down. So stable conditions, high pressure, sure, sunshine, often. But the circulation around this ridge, being clockwise, means that we've got an easterly wind up against the slopes of the Rockies. And this is an area where we've seen snow to start the day. Now, I don't think it'll be the 37 centimeters that Whitecourt got on the weekend, but it is certainly going to be continuing to accumulate through the rest of the day. Northern Ontario, a little trace of snow, but showers, mainly the forecast here as we jump ahead to the middle of the week. So that system moving in tomorrow. Wednesday, a round of showers, Southern Ontario. Thursday, a more substantial round of rainfall, and the temperatures up and down. For those watching any of the big games, the playoffs, outside on a big screen in a big city, well, those temperatures and the rainfall could certainly affect your enjoyment. 17 degrees, the forecast high for Wednesday. And Dr. Doug, and he's coming up with the latest long ranger in a few moments, telling us that this is really the best chance of approaching 20 degrees in the Greater Toronto area for the next 2 weeks. Keep that in mind. Ottawa is more seasonal at 11, and Montreal is still a little cooler than normal. And Halifax, well, we'll go east right now. The temperature forecast, when we have these winds coming out of the north, then the east, it's a southwest wind, which is a warmer wind, but these are primarily northerly winds, and for the Golden Horseshoe region, an easterly wind off Lake Ontario, that is a cold wind. Precipitation forecast, a couple of images for you here. First off, the remainder of today with snow in blue. Some freezing rain in Newfoundland. Showers move away from St. John's. It's a little bit gray through Tuesday, and it's cool. Thanks for joining us as we continue with the up close, the short range forecast, and the latest long ranger in just a moment. Monday through Tuesday, there's no big storm here, but precipitation in the form of snow, freezing rain, and rain in Newfoundland, and some snow and rain northern, southern Maritimes, particularly New Brunswick up through Quebec. Week low by the end of tomorrow, it's exited, but we all are feeling the cooler temperatures. Halifax, we were about 17 degrees on Sunday, cooler on Monday, cooler on Tuesday. At least the sun will be shining. Mix of sun and cloud in the forecast all the way back through Quebec, Quebec City, all the way down through southern Ontario. 18 is a little warm for Windsor. Areas around the Great Lakes, areas close to the lake, getting an onshore, an onshore breeze. Coming from the water, it's a cool wind. That's why our temperatures for some of these big cities are going up and down this week, quite dramatically, in fact. There's the front bringing some showers Wednesday, another low coming from the U.S. Thursday, drenching rain, temperatures up and down, rain. It sure is spring. Long ranger now. It's interesting, our temperatures are all over the map now. We're rising. Daytime highs and overnight lows. We're already up to about 13 normally in Regina and Toronto, and about 11 in Halifax. Having said that, we were above that yesterday. We're below that today. There's rain and there's snow in the forecast. Let me show you what's going on all across Atlantic Canada. Suzanne Leonard with you. Hope you had a great long weekend, or some of you are still enjoying a long weekend, right? There's the snow. And I mentioned 11 degrees off the top. Normally 11 in Fredericton, and just slightly cooler in Halifax this time of year. We are noticeably cooler as we come into Ontario's north. Same for Quebec. 10 degrees for Ottawa on Tuesday, 8 for Toronto versus 18 for Windsor. Is it an east wind coming off Lake Ontario? Well, to about 6 degrees. Can't complain, should not complain. Areas like Edmonton got 12 or so centimeters of snow this past weekend. So 6 degrees this morning or 12 centimeters of snow. I think I know which one you'd probably pick at this time of year. Unsettled weather is coming into the Great Lakes Basin. Then we'll have some snow in the far north. Rain showers, a passing wave of showers through Wednesday. Could be locally heavy. We're at the time of year where rain showers are often accompanied by thunder, and there's a greater chance of that happening on Thursday. A low coming from the U.S. The second system, temperatures going up and then down. Again, a wind shift and accompanying thunderstorms, could be locally some drenching rains. Now that'll be good news for bringing the garden along. I know that some of you cannot see your garden right now, especially around the capital region, Edmonton. Saskatoon ended up with less than 10 centimeters of snow. Calgary ended up with about 3 all told. Let me show you the temperatures this afternoon. Quite active around Edmonton yet again. On the weekend, Whitecourt got 37 centimeters of snow. That's west-northwest of Edmonton. This is an area getting upslope winds, and that's why there's snow falling again. We'll call this a tale of two seasons because it's cold enough for snow in the north and warm and unstable enough for isolated thunderstorms in the south over the next couple of days. Coming from south of the border, low pressure, and that's an unsettled week as we look ahead for British Columbia. A drier trend perhaps on Thursday. Here's more now. Lack of sunshine and more rain again today. Thanks, Chrissy. I mean, Chrissy does look the picture of health, don't you think? Falls Creek behind her there, Vancouver, such a beautiful city, but it's hard to see it. Hard to see the south, hard to see the coast in general at its magnificent best when it's shrouded in cloud. Of course, that adds to the beauty as well, but it has been an excessively prolonged period of wet weather. In the last 60 days, we've had 9 or 10 only that have been rain-free. And here's the next system. And there's a trough of low pressure further east that's helping to push some cloud cover up into the southern prairies today. Manitoba's all quiet. Northern Alberta getting upslope winds and snow west of Edmonton today. No snow in Ontario. Quebec, a little different story. Quebec City north up through the Gaspé and parts of Newfoundland. Rain. Changing over to snow tonight, eastern areas. We'll get to the east in a second. Rain and snow at elevation, high amounts of snowfall, widespread rainfall, BC and stateside. So it's an active weather pattern for this week, with the drier days being Thursday into Friday. So let's keep optimistic that the forecast models will show the pattern that actually unfolds, which is a drier trend by the end of the week. Where we've got some instability today in the prairies is in the south, and with upslope winds, snowfall. No significant amounts like your Whitecourt 37 centimeters and Bonnyville close to 30, northwest and northeast of Edmonton respectively through the last weekend. But a couple spotty showers and cold enough in the overnight that around Calgary and Canmore it could mix with some snow, so wet snow or maybe even a couple of centimeters. Certainly at higher terrain, the further north we go in the foothills, that's the snow. And the cold air is across the north, so really we're divided north to south. There's the zero line. It starts to lift north later this week. It's a tough week. Tough week for temperatures. Eastern Canada, well, it's back to reality after we hit the 20s in southern Ontario on the weekend. Meanwhile, the winds will play a role. Cooler winds out of the east at times, 20 to 30 kilometers an hour. We'll see the temperatures go down. Downwind of Lake Ontario both tomorrow, Tuesday, up Wednesday, down on Thursday, and largely staying down for Friday, which is another reason you'll want to stick around for 30 seconds to check out your local forecast and see more specifics about your temperatures going up and down. Wednesday into Thursday, that's looking like it'll be the most strong system, certainly something we're watching. Colorado lows can bring some extreme weather. Eastern Canada, not extreme, but Atlantic Canada, unsettled and cool. And there's your next rain approaching later in the week. Now your local weather. Good to see you on this Monday. Hope you had a great long weekend. Got your local forecast coming up in a couple of moments. Look at our temperatures this afternoon. Yeah, that's a little cool for Winnipeg. 13 for Toronto, a big come down in temperatures. Halifax too, almost 20 degrees yesterday. And then on Wednesday we go up. And then by the time we get to next weekend, our temperatures, those numbers coming down in many areas, making sense of the ups and downs of the weather in springtime. And I'll tell you what does make sense, and this is an exciting new partnership I want to share with you now before we continue with your forecast. The Weather Network, big announcement behind the scenes. We'll take you there. Something special that happened just last week.
Is a perfect fit for us. We embrace diversity, and this is what it's all about.
Isn't that a great story? And the North American Indigenous Games will be held in Toronto July 16th. And you can get involved if you go to 2017 NAIG, NAIG.to. Google it, you'll find it. They're taking volunteers, and the athletes and the cultural performers are all set to go. It's a really exciting new initiative for us to partner with this team. Tuesday, clearing trend, a little cool, a little gray. Eastern Canada, temperatures down in Toronto, still up in Windsor, and going up the amount of rain and alpine snow yet again in BC. Local weather now.